My name is Angela O'Neill, and welcome to Stories in Progress, a place where faith, creativity, and storytelling intersect. Here we go. Hey, friends, welcome to the Stories in Progress podcast. It is 2026. Woohoo! And we're about to have the snowpocalypse here in Nashville. So there we go. That's what we're looking towards this next week. But I wanted to have a podcast, and there might be a few episodes. It's been a year of podcasting for me, your host, stepping out in faith, trying this thing. I love stories, and I thought, well, let's talk about stories and maybe inspire people in their creativity and, more importantly, in their faith journey and their story. So it's been a year, and I thought, how fun would it be to go back and talk to some fun folks that were on the pod. I see them. They're right there. And do a catch up and maybe hear a little bit of your story, how you're being inspired creatively, how God's working in your life. Anyways, that's what we're going to do. So here we are with some of my favorite people in the whole wide world. We've got Mark Lee in the house.
Hey.
And the wonderful, the amazing Trevor and Laura Black. Woo woo! I know. Cue the applause for this crowd that's here today. Hey guys, how you doing?
Great.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're not we're in Southern California, so we're not waiting for the snowpocalypse like you are. So I'll be curious to know.
Quake.
That is
take a few days.
That is true. You just dodged one by being out there in Nashville. But
Oh.
you said what? You said 21 inches is what you're expecting. It'll be curious to know if that all plays out. That's crazy.
I know. I think like I'm gonna do a snow angel, but you're gonna lose me in the snow angel.
Right. The last we saw her, she started to do a snow angel. We haven't seen her since. When it thaws, perhaps we'll get her back.
Hopefully she's there. Yeah. I don't even know. It's all the things like we were talking before. We know when earthquake happens, when that drill starts, us Californians say,
duck and cover.
Duck and cover.
Right.
We know what to do. Funny thing is they're not supposed to be here as much, but I felt an earthquake here this year.
Wow, that's interesting.
I know. And I called my friends and I said, do y'all know what to do? Do
I'm
you know the duck and cover drill? Yeah. And then we text them when there's a tornado warning or something and go, is everyone safe? And they go, you guys aren't used to this. We're used to, we share information with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So snowpocalypse. If suddenly there is a 30-hour podcast because I'm bored.
Right.
She's live.
Yeah. I call friends and go, you just want to hop on? Okay. Well, let's start. I want to let you, yes, I live in the South now, y'all. Introduce yourself, say hello, say what you, just a little brief introduction to say hi, who you are, what you do, why you're so amazing, all those things.
Ladies first.
Mark,
ladies first, I think, right? Oh, okay, me. Yeah, I'm Mark Lee, and I live out here in Southern California right now. I've been here since I moved out here about 6 or 7 years ago to pursue acting and filmmaking, and I took a brief break, but now I'm back on track, and I'm trying to do as much writing, acting, and filmmaking as I can do with what I have, and that's where I'm at right now.
I love it. So good.
It's a great story because we were all in VBS together a few years back. So it was a lot of fun for all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a full circle moment. I met Trevor and we got coffee. He's known in our church community as an actor, and then he introduced me to Angela, and then we all did the VBS, and that was super fun. And that was really right at the beginning of when I decided to really just like without trepidation, just say, okay, I'm all in on this thing. It's sort of a faith journey, but
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that's
It's so
great.
good. Yeah.
So I'm Trevor, and this is my wife, Laura. We're both actors by training, and also, I suppose, parents. And then we started this last year. We also started a podcast, just
Yeah.
following in your footsteps,
Yeah.
Angela. After we did your podcast, we
Mhm.
thought, you know what, sitting around chatting with people, that sounds good,
that.
right?
Kind of fun.
And so ours is called Tools for Marriage because we do a lot of pre-marriage counseling with couples, and we love sort of pouring into couples in the early part of their relationship. And we thought, hey, doing a podcast for this audience might actually be, real helpful to them. And it's been amazing, all the different guests that we've been able to have over we'll call it season 1. And
Yes.
so we're launching into a season 2 this year. And again, just following in your footsteps,
Yeah.
Angela. So
Inspiration to
that's
us.
right.
Oh, well, you guys inspire me. It's fun to have friends when we just get to like sit and collaborate and inspire each other and cheer each other on. I think that's a big
Yeah.
deal. Like in the arts, in any community, it can turn into like a competition, and that's not this. This is like, no, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cheer you on, and what is God doing in your life? And that is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's
Yeah.
special. Y'all are special in my life.
You too. You too.
Well, I
there's
love
room for
it.
everybody.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I promise we won't, since this is a VBS crew coming back together, we won't just dive into our characters from VBS a few years ago. Although that could be interesting. I would sing the rest of the podcast, and Laura would whack us with her wooden spoon.
Your spoon. Yep. Yep.
and Trevor would grow a wild beard.
Yes.
Mhm. And Mark's
We
he was the bad guy. And
I
he's
know.
so sweet. He's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
The most lovable bad guy. They're the best kind of bad guy when you kind of are like, wait, but I like him. Wait,
He's very sweet.
what's
Yeah.
going on? Yeah. Okay. Well, today, it's kind of a look back and a look forward. That's what we're going to do. It's what we do, when a new year starts. I'd love to hear, and this can be totally open conversation. So everybody feel free to converse the whole time. Let me just make sure I'm reading it right, because this was good. How did you see God through your creative endeavors this past year? How did God show up? Yeah.
Well, Mark,
And go.
you've had an exciting year. So tell people about it.
Yeah, exciting is one way to put it for sure. I mean, there's always tension between our own time frames and God's time frames. There's always tension between there's things happening in life and developments that you didn't expect,
Mhm.
and my wife and I work in a situation that has its own unique stresses, taking care of foster kids and stuff like that. And we're going to be wrapping this job up in the next 6 months. But these last 2 years have definitely been an adventure. This last year in particular, since we're talking about the year. Yeah, and in that, I'm also pursuing the dream and the passions and all the that alone has enough ups and downs, right? So there's a lot of things happening. So I think really, yes, I've had some wins that feel like blessings it's really fun. That's a great time to celebrate. Gotten some commercials, I've gotten some shorts, and just those things have felt in times where the weariness of everything else, it can make me question, like, am I even supposed to be doing this? I think I've always second guessed myself of like, is this just what I want? And am I just pursuing my own ambitiousness, right? Is this about me? And so I'll pray obviously about it, and then I'll get some kind of really cool confirmation of like, hey, yeah, this is the path you're supposed to be on. Like I'll get a call from somebody that I worked with 4 years ago about a commercial. Here in LA, I feel like you don't just like the whole casting it's like somebody working camera tells the director, oh, my friend can be in this, and it's like a decent commercial. It's not just like my friends starting a fidget spinner company or something, you know. So yeah, things like that. Or I'll get a role out of nowhere, and it'll just help me to keep going and confirm. And you know, there's a lot of growth. I think most of it's what it's been doing to me and my character, and how God has been working on building more relationship with me and him by me having to trust him. I don't have any choice. There's a lot of things that are completely out of my control, and that's something that I'm not comfortable with. I like to be able to have a plan and really attack it. But when God doesn't reveal everything, it really feels like, okay, well, I just have no choice but to trust him and his timing and lean on him harder
Yeah.
and learn what rest means and learn what provision means and learn what God's timing means and that daily bread. And there's just it's been such an odyssey that I don't want to ramble on about all of it, trying to encompass it all. But yeah, I'm sure everybody has a lot of complexities and stuff, especially when you're pursuing these creative endeavors while also trying to be part of a family and support people and provide for yourself in the meantime, since this is not I haven't reached the level where it's all I do for my profession yet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's for sure a journey. And not easy at all. It would be, I think sometimes we can look at the ones who have like made it to the top kind of a thing, or of whatever that endeavor we're looking at in our own lives or that's similar, and go, it's just so easy for them. And you go, but the honest journey is a step of faith, especially when, as we're approaching it through a Christ-centered lens. It's, a step of faith. Our faith journey is not, I say this often, it's not linear. It's not like, oh yeah, like I can see exactly where we're going. I see what it looks like at the end. It's up, down, all around, full of questions, triumphs, all the things.
Yeah, there are some callings that just aren't as straightforward as others.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
sharing.
But I've been really grateful. It's been a lot. Been learning a lot. Been getting closer to God because of it. So that's been really a good thing.
Yeah, that's great. Trevor and Laura, have you seen God in your creative endeavors? How's he shown up?
Yeah, well, it's interesting, this tools for marriage thing that we started. We didn't exactly know where it was going to go or what it was going to look like. We just sort of felt, again, that idea of we don't know the linear path or whatever. It was just like, all right, we're just going to step in and we'll start making some small sort of fun videos and we'll just sort of see where it goes. And that led to then the podcast and starting to write a book and doing a little more hosting of these kind of marriage events and things. And so
Yeah.
it's a very exciting sort of boat to be in, lots of rapids, and you're not really sure, where you're going to end up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember a few years back, because that is our passion, is pre-marriage counseling and marriages. And we love the name tools because we feel like there's things you can put today and it can change your relationship. And so as we've learned, our marriage has gotten so much stronger.
Yeah.
And I just remember us, I had my, I have a word for the year, and that year was radical obedience.
Ooh.
And yeah. And just with the two of us saying, God, what do you want us to know? What do you want us to do? And we still continue with that. And that's what we kind of go for. Like you said, we don't know where this is going, but we sure know that we're going to follow him, and he's blessed us and he's brought people into our lives at the exact time. And we're like, okay, that was God.
Yeah.
That definitely wasn't us.
Yeah.
So it's been a great journey.
Yeah, as you two. So for our audience, Trevor and Laura they're amazing actors. I've had the opportunity to be part of fun projects and hoping for many more to come. But you now are writing and performing and making these short skits that are tools for Marriage. Um, as you as you've come up with concepts along the way, I don't know. I find like in the writing process, it's kind of a deep pour into.
Yeah.
When I wrote, it was like, okay, let's pour in. Oh, yeah, I'm learning all these things. What have you found as you've written or taken on characters and filmed it? Like, what has been revealed to you along the way?
Yeah, well, I think one thing is that sometimes putting things together and trying to do things without, a big team or a sizable group or whatever is really hard. It's really
Yeah,
challenging, right? And there
100%.
is certainly a beauty in the idea of everybody bringing their skills to the table.
Hmm.
Case in point would be, Vacation Bible School, right? When you do those dramas, you've got such a gift, yes, as a performer, but also as a writer, right?
And a director.
Yes, exactly. So to come up with these sort of concepts of how this is going to flow. And so what a beautiful thing is actors to sort of step in where
Mhm.
someone has done their craft and you're handed this great piece that you get
Script.
to then do your thing, right? And so in many ways, I feel like Laura and I, when we look across the spectrum of stuff, there's a lot of hats we have to wear that are like, oh,
We don't.
I don't know that I want to wear this hat,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the technical stuff. I'm
Mhm.
not scared of technology, but like figuring out the mics and the camera and the editing,
The
and then
lighting.
figuring out each individual sort of social media platform and what are
Yes.
the nuances and what works in one platform versus another. Not really the thing that I wake up excited about, right?
Yeah.
And so coming up with the concepts, is kind of one part of the creative process. I think the most enjoyable part of it is when the two of us are like, okay, we've gotten past the
Yeah.
technical side, we've got something now, and now we get to sort of perform and have
Right.
fun together. Because I think at the heart of it, if we had a choice across the
Yes.
spectrum, we'd say, let's do that one.
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
the most enjoyable for us.
I hear you. Yeah, 100%.
And the other thing is what we've tried to do is be creative.
You're right.
Like you said, to put little scenes together. And we have this new toolbox series we've just started where we have, I have a hard hat, he has a tool belt, because we have the name Tools for Marriage, but bringing out things where it's kind of fun, but it represents different things you can do within your relationship. So we just started that. And so just trying to find creative, fun ways to bring this forward of having strong marriages.
Well, I think that's what um, creativity can do is we've talked, I mean, I feel like this is the line I preach all the time is you can hear a song, you can see a play, you can see a painting and it invites you to think about it and the creativity is like a very approachable way to tackle a topic and maybe a hard topic. Maybe it is, you know, miscommunication in marriage. That can be a
Yeah,
hard topic, but when we
right.
get to giggle through a skit that the giggling makes us breaks down the barriers, but you go, oh, but I'm giggling because it's really true.
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Same with in the Bible. I mean, that's what a vacation Bible school does is makes it so simple where it's written for kids. But how many times adults would go, oh my goodness, I identified. Well, yeah, it's the simplicity of a drama written for kids that we as adults probably could use a lot. We could
Mhm.
use this information as well.
Right.
Yeah. Well, great. Okay, next question. Maybe what was a favorite as we look back, a favorite project of 2025? If there's one that you could pick out and you go, this is it. Everybody go listen to this podcast episode or go watch this skit or what was me a favorite and why?
Yeah, well, I have one, and obviously working with my wife is my most favorite thing for sure. And so the stuff that we do together, I just really enjoy because we get to sort of wake up, work creatively together, and try and put something out there. But this one actually came in as the form of a kind of more traditional sort of audition where I saw this thing come across my email, and I hadn't actually signed up for this casting site. but there was this mention of this sort of God-focused short film kind of thing. And so I thought, I wonder if I can track this guy down with a little Google foo, and see if
Yeah.
I can reach him a different way. And I managed to do that because he had put some stuff online about this thing that he was trying to put together. And the name of the project is called English Corner, and it'll be coming out shortly, just as a sort of a short film, a teaser, because he's trying to raise money to potentially put together either a feature film or a sort of episodic adventure. And
Okay.
so this guy was a teacher in China, and he would teach kids English. That was his primary, job there. But he felt that his primary mission there was to share Jesus with these kids, right?
Wow.
Which not everybody was a big fan of
Right.
in this particular college that he was working. And so it's his story that he really brought to life. So I managed to track this guy down and said, "Hey, I'd love to audition." He's like, "How did you even find me?" Whatever. But he sent me the script and I put together an audition. And that's one of the beauties is whenever I audition, I have like a built-in reader,
Yeah.
right? Who's both the director as well. That she's like, try it this way, right?
So
Which is
good.
just, oh, it's so great. And so I just sort of sent this thing off. And anyway, I got cast in this thing. So a few months back, we went out to the sort of St. Louis, Illinois area, and I got to shoot this little short film and play this guy as he sort of took his memoir, turned it into a series of scripts,
Wow.
and got to sort of put the first episode together. And just the whole thing was just really quite magical. We did a
Yeah.
lot of Zoom rehearsals with people because we were all coming from different areas. And then we all got together for just 2 days to sort of make this thing. And then we dispersed. And of course, he had this great director and editor to put it all together. And so I've seen an early cut
That's really
and I'm
good.
really proud of it. I'm just really proud of the way the whole project came together.
That's incredible. Okay, so
Nice.
do you know when it's going to be released for us to see?
Sure, it's a good question. So, a lot of film festivals don't want things that have already been
Mm,
online. And so he's trying to navigate that. Do I put this on YouTube because I want everyone to see it, or do I do a Kickstarter or whatever?
yeah.
And so he's trying to navigate, which of those film festivals can I put this in before I sort of release it generally? Because some of those just say, look, you can't have it online if it's going to air in our film festival. So he's taking it to the film festival circuit. And I'm not really sure how long that process works before he says, okay, either it worked or it didn't work or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So who knows? But I think the final edit is done. Layering and music and color and all that other stuff. Again, I'm so grateful for all the artists that are out there who do these things, work in sound design and color and composing music and things, so that
Yes.
I can just go and do my little part of it, and then hopefully everybody putting their skills in together turns it into something greater than any one of us alone could put together.
100%. Oh, yes, that is incredible. I love it. Okay, so everybody stay tuned. And
That's
when we
right.
know
Yeah.
more, I
And
guess we'll have to have you on again
There you go.
for
and so that's where we know it's God, because I think Mark knows this. I know you know that, Angela, where you can do auditions, you can like keep trying, and so many of the things that are amazing, where you're like, I can't believe I have this. It's from God.
yes,
It is where you go, there's no way I could have strived or I could have done this.
right.
You just see where it just comes in, and it's like, what a blessing. And I think that has to do with you, Angela. I remember the night someone's like, you need to meet with Angela. And then our relationship for all these years. And then with Mark,
Yeah.
I mean, we'd gone to church with him for a while. And then he's like, I'm an actor. And he's a good actor.
He's a
I
great
mean,
actor.
he's right now directing short films. And it's like, he's really talented. And so how cool to have you but all in our lives.
It's neat
Thank you
to
so much.
the hindsight of um how God has, or when we really look back and go, how has he orchestrated and just placed, when we're worried about something, or when we need a friend, or when whatever it may be, like if we look back and go, oh, wasn't that neat when he brought Trevor and Laura and Mark into my life, and that bond that is a forever bond, no matter if I'm in a snowpocalypse or you're having an earthquake in California. It's the friendships that are forever, and you go, yeah, this is a beautiful blessing from the Lord.
It is, yeah. And I know the topic here is really kind of about, creativity, right? And
Mhm.
so we certainly think about creativity within our own crafts, within acting or singing or directing or writing. But it is interesting when you think about God's creativity, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's the one who put that spark in us in the first
Yes.
place, the
Flame.
ultimate creative, the one who created it all, right? And then the way in which he does weave these tapestries together in such a
Yes.
creative and unique way where you go, oh, this could have only been God. This wasn't me trying to move all these
Yes.
pieces around or whatever. He's the
Right.
one, forging these relationships and bringing these things together. And so, I just don't think there's that was like, oh, we just happened to have met. I think
No.
that God orchestrates these things in a way that you can look and see his creativity at play.
100%. And that's why I think I love stories. I love people's stories and creativity. That's why that's this whole podcast. But for me, I go, but there's so much to it. Whether someone is calling themselves a creative, we are created by the creator. And so hopefully, in telling our stories of vulnerability and faith and triumph, and then connecting our creativity with Jesus, I mean, I hope others are inspired. Maybe not going to go write a song or do a thing, but I hope that it just inspires each listener's story, because it's our vulnerable stories connected with the creator.
Mm.
Yeah, I always tell people a dancer dances, a writer writes. It's like, where is it? We're like, okay, now my art can go in a gallery. It's like to step out there. And I think that was what was so beautiful with the ministry we had at Mariners that you led, that we were artists cheering each other on and kind of like saying, I don't know if I'm the best at this, but you stepping in and going, I love this and I'll keep
Yeah.
working on that.
And this place is safe. Well, Trevor and Laura, thank you for sharing your 2025. Well, Trevor, you shared about the movie. Laura, is there something you'd like to share too?
Well, we
That
are.
favored?
Yes, I mean, we've been following you this whole time. You've inspired us,
Well,
and we are working towards a book. And so,
yeah.
yes, so we've been working on it. And there was once again where God is amazing, where there was a little get together,
Mhm.
and everyone was kind of saying what they were doing and and this lady said, "I'm a publisher." I'm like, like, and
Wow.
and it was an acting thing. It had nothing to do. And she goes,
Yeah.
"I don't really know why I'm here." It's like, well, God did.
Yeah.
And so it's been really nice being able to talk to her. We've had a vision consulting and learning who are we writing to. I mean, these kind of
Right.
things that as actors, I don't think we know. And so you just see God working through that. And so, yeah, so it really is exciting. Like Trevor said, we get to use all these creative talents that we love working through
Yes.
and just for the Lord,
Yeah.
of just saying, God, we love you. We have a certain amount of time on this earth and we want to glorify you.
Right.
So it's been
I am
good.
excited for your journey. Are you at the beginning phase, the outlining, or have you written a little bit?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
not that there's one way to do it. I think I
right.
did it. By the time I got to my editor, he was like, well, usually someone's come to me before this point. And I was like,
Right.
well, here we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting, we call ourselves marriage nerds because we study a
I
lot.
love
Certainly
it.
Laura's like highlighting all these books and reading all these great ideas, and we're assembling these to try to pass this information along. And so in a way, there's way more information than could be contained in a single book
Yes.
that we want to pass along,
Yeah.
right? So we're just kind of going through and in some ways just winnowing, is that the right word? Trying to cull this thing down into
Yeah.
something that we think would
Yes.
be approachable, right? So that we're not saying, here's your 300-page book on
Yes.
marriage, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
is something that feels approachable for both the gal and the guy
Yeah.
when they're, considering marriage or in that early part or maybe early part of their marriage relationship. So that's kind of where we are. And this vision consultant that we met, this publisher, Square Tree Publishing, is actually the name of them, and they publish a lot of different Christian books. And so one of the things that we did with this gal Sherry, who runs it, is to do a kind of a vision consult, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, well, our goal is just to get a book done. So how do we get a book done? And she's like, well, there's some steps before that, right? To
Yeah.
just sort of determine how you're going to bring something to market and what your vision is for it. And then you can self-publish or you can use publishers. There's just a dizzying array
Yes.
of options that are available, which I think is really, really helpful for us. Again, we're sort of following you because you have, sort of gone before and trying to look at what other people have done. But it
Yeah.
was super helpful to actually have this vision consultant and to zoom out a little bit and say, who are you? What is your identity? What do you want to be known for? When people say, "Oh, Trevor and Laura Black," what does that mean? What do they
What is
speak to,
different?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is
And
different?
what makes you different than everything else in the market, right? So in a way, it sort of put the book on pause a little bit to sort of say, we need to
Yeah.
kind of figure some things out first so that then we can return and have a through line and a vision to sort of get things through to completion. So, and admittedly, though I like the creative aspect, there's something about it. It's not my favorite hat to wear, honestly, writing.
Sure. Yeah.
One, you write something and you fall in love with it and you never want to get rid of it, right? So
Right.
the idea of like, but I wrote that, but it doesn't really fit, so scrap it is a hard one, right? Because you start to go, oh, this little thing, because you've spent time with it,
Yeah.
and you need to be able to just go, no, it's not going to fit. It doesn't help here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's challenging.
And
It
I would
is.
say the other thing is with the Tools for Marriage podcast that we started, we've had master classes. We've learned so
Yeah.
much.
From people.
And like Trevor said, you want to write a 1,000-page book.
Right.
And so really finding out, okay, right now this is our audience and figuring that out. So it really is right now still a process for the two of us.
Yeah, it is. And it's true. I mean, anything I think this can be true for anyone, but I know as an artist, and then on varying different levels, the protection of the thing is like when I'm directing I'm like an Italian mama with my cast. I'm like, nobody say a thing about what they did wrong. I can say it, but they can't. Or, performing and then writing. That's, spending, for me, it was 2 years with it. I had to learn that the red letters and lines, not the red letters of Jesus in the Bible, but the red letters from my editor and lines. I knew his voice and I knew where he was coming from, which helped me to not get just sad or upset or defensive. And but it's hard because becoming attached to it and then sifting through, well, like, what will they understand? What will someone not understand? And then I went, okay, maybe I stored everything and then would even like the deleted things, I have it all still and go, I might come back to this when I speak about it because it's going to make more sense then than it does for me to write it in a book. But it's great for me to have. I'm not throwing it away.
Right.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's good.
So, okay, Mark, what was exciting that you worked on in 2025?
Wow, you guys gave me a lot to think about. That I resonate with a lot of that stuff. It's interesting how, as creatives, as actors, we all have such big emotions, and I think that's where some of the complexity lies because we want to share so much. That's part of our gifting and our personality and our shape and why we're here and the gifts that God's given us. We're trying to create things that can help people. And I'm just so glad that you guys all exist. It's really cool. The passion to help marriages, the passion to tell stories that really connect with people. Angela, your book was so incredible.
Thanks.
I really loved your approach. It was so unique. So from my standpoint, I'm trying to just narrow down and simplify. Part of the background is that I was working in production on really big stuff, like 300 people on set type of thing, and I'm now just doing sometimes just me with a tripod, and I'm trying to create stories and just little projects that I know no one may ever watch, and may never mean anything to anybody except for me, and except for the youth pastor of the church. He's my biggest fan. He's always texting me, "That was so good. I watched it twice. I showed it to my wife." Well, you know. But other than that, I'm really just going through the exercise of saying a couple of things I did. I did this one that barely had any dialogue. I gave to Trevor, and he had some great feedback on it.
Oh man, Mark, I just want to say I loved that. I mean, I think you had gone to like an Airbnb and they had this very unique little dumbwaiter that was outside of this sort of two-story thing. And so you put your luggage in there to send it up or whatever, but you created
Yeah,
this whole story about putting something in and then it showing up, changed when
Mm.
you got upstairs. And so you can see there was no dialogue in this whole thing, right? And so
Yeah.
you're just run and gun, right? You got your wife there, a tripod, and you're setting up to do these little scenes or whatever. But man,
yeah,
it was like a little mini sci-fi. And I was just really, really
Yeah.
impressed. Again, the way that you need to communicate a story when you're not using dialogue, you're not telling the audience, hitting them over the head. They're
Yeah.
discovering things maybe one step or in front of you, or maybe you're discovering it one step in front of the audience. And the way that you sort of put this little story together and then put it out into the world so
Yeah.
that people could enjoy it. I just thought, man, I love it. I love the creativity. And I
Yeah.
thought you did such a great job in that. I really did.
and
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, that was kind of my birthday present. So my wife surprised me with this. We were going to stay in a treehouse. I forget what part of California. It was near
Fun.
Kings Canyon. Yeah. And so it had a dumbwaiter, and I just, the way my mind works is I start to just imagine things, and I just imagined this story, and then pieces started to come into it, and I just wrote it out, and it was quick and simple, and I just liked that it had a good way to end, and it was gripping in, like you're wondering what's going to happen, right? And I like things that are really thought provoking and that make people put themselves in those situations and gets you in touch with a few layers below just what you go through your day showing people.
Yeah.
Like what in my deeper heart, what are the real choices I'm making? Who am I really? I have this feature that I've been working on since 2018 that I'm writing, and I cannot get it finalized because it's literally like that secret person of the heart. Who are you when no one's watching? If no one would ever know the decisions you make. Um, so, anyways, yeah, that one I really enjoyed doing that. And I'm just I'm really learning a lot about not holding myself to these impossible standards because I do, in my background, there's a lot of messiness and stuff that like I said, there's tensions where sometimes I'm afraid of failure, but I'm also afraid of success. Uh, and I'm processing through just being able to say, you know what? I'm just gonna push all the noise away, and I'm going to do what I love, do what I want to see, what I believe in, what I'm passionate about, and what I think will actually mean something to someone. And just hope that's something I don't have control over. Maybe no one will like it, but at the same time, it's like I want to do what I can with what I have where I'm at and finish
Yeah.
something imperfectly just to go through the training myself of saying, hey, this is scary and it might be imperfect, and but I'm going to finish it and I'm going to put something out there that I completed. And this is my draft. This is as good as I got it for now. And that one I had to edit myself. Then I started doing I also have a pretty broad scope of what I like to do. So that one was more like Trevor said, there was a sci-fi component with a like a intellectually deeper approach to it. But then I do stuff that's completely petty and comical and pointless and means nothing, just to laugh and just to have some joy and just to put that out in the world because I think that's really important too. So I have this thing I've been doing about these two roommates that it's really cringy and but it's just like an odd couple dynamic where the guy rents the other guy's garage and uh, it's just fun and light and I enjoy it. And I actually hired an editor for this last one because like Trevor and Laura were saying, part of the stuff that's not really my gifting that will detract from the project is I'm wearing hats that for $90, somebody else can do a way better job. And
Yeah.
so I'm happy to go on Fiverr and find the right person. And that's even fun to collaborate. And then they bring something else.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's one of my, if I don't know if you want to talk about it later, but the collaborative thing about filmmaking when you're on a 300 person production, that's something that I think there's so much to take away from that
Oh, yeah.
because there's so many people from so many different backgrounds that we don't have to share the same viewpoints. We don't have to walk the same life or live the same lifestyle or believe the same things, but we all bring one purpose to finish this creative project that we all are getting behind and bringing our own individual respective talents. And that to me is just a great illustration for how life itself is supposed to work.
Yeah, exactly. It's I always say I'd much rather sing a duet than a solo. It's that collaborative of like there's something beautiful in the harmony that happens when you sing a duet and the working off of each other. To me, I'd much rather do that. The fire that happens at that moment. And so I think the same with when everyone gets to use their gifting. It's well, I mean, and as Christians, we can look towards a body of Christ example, especially if it's towards a Christian thing, a purpose. But how special it is when we all get to thrive in what we do together for one purpose. That's special.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. And it's cool when the audiences come behind stuff. You see some of these things that traditional production houses might have rejected because of nothing, but then there's an audience, and because of the audience, it gets made, and then the creatives give this beautiful thing to people, and it's a great cycle of creativity and bringing visions to life, and
Yeah.
it opens up the doorway for more people to do that.
Yeah.
There's a video I saw recently of a shepherd bringing all his sheep to this small narrow bridge, and they did not want to go by what he was saying, like the voice that he would tell them to go, and he had to literally take a sheep, put it on the bridge and push it so that it would walk, and it walked, and then when the sheep saw that one went across, they all went across and followed it.
Yeah.
So, God will tell us be strong, be courageous, be brave, I'm with you, and all that stuff. But until we see someone sometimes actually walk that out and do something that it ignites our heart's imagination and our vision and our creativity, and like, oh, it's possible. I want to do that too. And then we can feel permission to walk across that scary thing with a river on each side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. What a great analogy. I love that.
That's awesome. Okay, so we'll do one more looking back. Is there something in 2025 or in the recent 2026 that has inspired you, whether it's someone's story or a film you saw but something, because being inspired by others for me, like a lot of times when I write, I have to have music going. And that's helping my mind with inspiration or just calming my mind and the chaos that can start to happen. But is there something I'll share? I'll start. So I'm gonna go with two. You can go with two too. It's fine.
It's your podcast.
It's my podcast. Yeah, there's no rules. One, I over Christmas break watched, and I would encourage people to watch this. It had taken me a second, but I finally got through episode 1, which was all the building of the characters. But I watched The House of David on Amazon Prime. Have you guys watched it?
We've started it.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah.
Okay. I started it like 5 times because I just was like, I don't know. I'm not in. And then it was Christmas break. John and I hibernated basically at our house. And I went, okay, I'm going to go on. And I could not stop once I got into it. They told the story of David and Saul and Samuel so well, and the acting and cinematography and everything was so, the battles were so well done. And it inspired me because, again, this is a story. I know the story of David. I know the story of Saul. These are things I've read before, but this is what I love about art is I went, oh, it is so captivating the way they're telling this. It caused me to, I asked questions and would go like, okay, yes, there's in these retellings, there can be artistic liberties. Was that a thing that I don't remember that? And then you would read like theologians talk about this theory. It's, not spelled out, but this is very possible. And so anyways, and so now I'm going back on my own and reading, starting with First Samuel, and I want to read it all again. And I love that. I love that these films and retellings, the whole goal should be, and then we go back, like, let me go to scripture on my own. And so it has inspired me. It may just be for me to read the story, and then I don't know if something else will come of it or not, but I am grateful for the inspiration in my life. So that's one.
That's so good. Can I just say too, like,
Yes.
that's a really great example of a few things. It's powerful. It's so powerful. All the storytelling and the real caliber of what they're doing on a real budget, and being able to bring these things with good casting and all that stuff. People from all over the world were cast in that, I believe. So, that's so cool. And then it does inspire people like you love to dive in and learn and everything, like, so it inspired you to do that. And then the kids here will watch, like, The Chosen would probably be that first sheep across the bridge in this genre, right? We're seeing more go across the bridge now. The House of David, we're getting a Daniel movie this fall. There's a movie on the flood. Like, has never been a hunger for the genre in a long time. This is like the Nashville storm. Like, it was probably 100 and something years ago before we saw mainstream. Like, we really want to see lots of Bible stories, right? But it's reaching a younger generation in a way that talking about this stuff can't. Like, some of the kids who live with us, they'll watch The Chosen and they'll know Jesus on a deeper level, right? And that lays a foundation. They'll in a way that it's a story of someone they're connecting with and getting to know what he's like. It's the book of John in cinema. And then one of them went to a Bible study class that was just a little camp for teenagers, and they were going through the book of John. She's like, "Oh, I know this. I remember this." It's like, and it's a really beautiful gift that all these creatives came together and shared the story to connect with. I think for younger people and people who won't learn about it any other way, it's reaching the masses in a way that we've got to pay attention to this stuff, obviously, right? It's important. I think God's using it big time.
100%.
And House of David is great. I got to go back and make sure I watched all the episodes. I think there's a season 2 now.
Yeah, I got through that real quick too.
All right, I watched season 1.
I said subscribe because you had to subscribe to I forget, Wonder Project, I think, is a new streaming service, but a lot of it is Christian films. So I went, you know what, I'm going to get on board and I can do that. I won't say the short amount of time it took me to watch The House of David. No shame. John and I just, we've had a really busy year. And so we hibernated. Like, my laundry was sweats. I don't think I wore anything else.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
No.
You need that from time to time.
Yeah. Okay. You all share. What is something that inspired you?
Go ahead. You had one to say.
You had another one.
I just
You got a second one, didn't you?
I do. I'll leave it as a okay. I'll do it.
Okay.
Never mind. Fine. Here we go. Well, this one's close to all of us. because we all know the OG story. I got to be an extra in the I Can Only Imagine 2 movie,
Oh, cool.
which
Oh.
featured, well, he's not, well, he has a cameo in it. I do know that much. But our friend Tim Timmons, his story is being told. I don't know if did you guys go to the,
We
you
did.
did.
Yeah.
Did you see me on camera? No.
No, where we were watching, I didn't know. You should have told me which scene and where you were seated. Were you
Yeah.
at what? At the Red Rocks, or where did you show up?
No, no, I laugh because I'm in a crowd of 2,000 people. It's the scene where I believe it's kind of a flashback and Mercy Me is getting an award
Okay.
by Amy Grant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in that crowd.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Cheering.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Well,
Were
it's
you at
funny
the Grand
that-
Ole Opry?
It was not. It was filmed out here at the K Love radio station. They have a huge theater. So that was fun. And for me, what was fun, it was fun just to be there, but knowing Tim, like he got on stage and shared a little bit of his story. And I'm going, I just can't wait for the world to hear Tim's story. Just knowing from the other end, like he is such a wonderful, dynamic, humble person who loves Jesus, and I think his story is going to touch so many people.
Yeah.
And then Bart Millard came out and he would talk and like do things, and then I think I'm allowed to talk about this. I didn't sign anything. So we will. The guy who plays Bart Millard, they found him on Broadway playing the understudy of Jean Valjean.
Oh, wow.
In Les Mis.
Yeah.
And so our extra group got to hear him sing Bring Him Home that night. And I was like, great. This is, fantastic.
Oh, that's so cool.
You know, you think you're just coming, I don't know. I was excited just because I knew like, I'm not going to be seen. I'm just going to be part of this. This is going to be fun. And it's him. And, but then to get like, they did a really great job of showing the behind the scenes stuff, but it was inspiring. And I think I haven't seen it yet, but knowing the story, at least to some degree, of Tim, like the inspiration and fire is just there where I can't wait for the world to hear. So that was fun.
And real quick, once again, a divine appointment. Look how you were there. I just think that's so how God worked all things together where you are close to Tim and you know so much of the story. And how God worked that all together where you were able to be a part of that. That's where you just know there's a daddy that knows your heart and you were able to be a part of that.
Yeah. It was special. It was really special.
And I want to piggyback on that because that was actually mine. We got to see an early preview of I Can Only Imagine 2. And they did it at Mariners Irvine in the Worship Center. And Tim Timmons and his wife Hillary were there, and they were interviewed by Doug Fields following the film. And so it was just an amazing, the film is actually really, really good, Good. And Milo Ventimiglia, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but the guy who's in This Is Us, he does an unbelievable job in that film. One, he's just a really good actor, so very, very solid. But two, he picked up a lot of Tim's, sort of things that he does, pushing his glasses up, and of course the whole thing that, and this will shortly, I think it comes out. Everyone will sort of know this story, which is what you're excited about, is Tim's story sort of getting known more widely. But man, what an amazing, film! How exciting to see the quality of Christian entertainment sort of stepping up, right?
Yes.
And then
So
just to see Tim's story sort of come to life and done in such a beautiful way. And then it was just really special to get to have Tim and Hillary talk about what that meant and their sort of connection with it, and them getting to be sort of a part of it as well, as opposed to just, well, that was our story. And, so it was like, well, what was true and what wasn't, and what liberties did they take with it? It was just really exciting. And then, just to chat with him a little bit after everyone stood in line, big old line of everyone who just wanted to get a picture with him or
Yeah.
say hello or congratulate him. And so it was great to have that little connection. I'm like, VBS this year? He's like, yeah, you. I'm like, I think so. Hopefully we'll see you soon. That was just really, really, really special.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. Yes. Okay, anyone listening, it comes out February 20th. I I think I'm gonna see there's a early preview that's happening. I'm trying to go to that, but at the same time, I encourage everyone, like, let's blow up the box office
Yeah.
in a good way, not a bad way.
Yeah, right.
Like not the bad blow up. Like
Yeah. Lots of,
burst all the records.
Yeah.
Let's
Yes.
let it be,
Yeah.
sell out for Jesus, all in a good way. All these
Yeah.
terms could go the opposite.
but honestly, I mean, go. Like
Yeah.
Trevor said, the quality is amazing.
Yeah.
And so absolutely, it's great.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, well, yay,
That's
we had
exciting.
the same one. Okay, Mark, what was something that inspired you last year?
Um, so getting, um, I kept getting pushed towards faith-based films, and I felt like it made me really think about what kind of stuff do I want to make? Because, like I said, I really love making lots of different things. I'm pretty distractible, and I like a lot of stuff. There's about 10 hobbies that I say no to right now, so that I can have time to do the ones that I like.
Yeah.
Because so I don't know. In the final analysis, I don't want to get too crazy. When I got sick this past week, I I started having like these shakes, and like I couldn't stop my body from
Hmm.
shaking, right? And I was like, you know, there's gonna come a day in hopefully a long time where I get sick and it's the last time I ever get sick, right? I don't want that to sound morbid, but like, what am I gonna do with if I have a good 40, 45 years left, 15,000 days? What am I gonna do with that? Am I gonna make
Wow.
just stuff to make people laugh and stuff like that? So I try not to think too, overthink things, which is a problem for me, but it's like what matters the most is stuff that points people towards faith, points people towards Jesus' story for us as, like Trevor and Laura were talking about marriage. Like it's one of the most important things to our society. And a good marriage can make all the difference in someone's ability to accomplish their goals and dreams and purpose or not, right? And so I have a few scripts that are centered around relationships that I've been just sort of kicking around, and one of them was blatantly faith-based, um, because I was working with a film group that was developing faith-based content, and we were doing a series of short, unconnected films, and so I wrote one, and I think this year I really want to start making more stuff like that, be more deliberate, but it involves
Okay.
me getting settled into a community so last year kind of motivated me to narrow down things to, um, what does it look like? Is it just an eclectic collection of like, hey, Mark does acting and makes short films? Or is it there's a vision? So what I want to do is I want to figure out where we're going to settle after we leave here in 6 months. We're exploring other places to live and we're not sure. So I want to get into a group or form a group of other people who do what they do so that we can make, excuse me, projects that matter a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, you kind of answered the next question too, which is so good.
Oh, sweet.
No, I love it. Which is what are you looking forward to for 2026? This is the look forward moment. So
Yeah.
you can add to that, Trevor and Laura, open forum. And yeah, go for it.
I think I just have such a critical voice in my head constantly. It's
Mhm.
just everything, and with acting, with everything I do, I just have this voice like you're not very good, you don't know what you're doing. You did like it's a constant voice. And so I'm working on knowing that I am a daughter of the King.
Yeah.
I can do all things through him, that it's not about me. I think I have pride where it's like, well, what do people think? And I have to be good for this instead of, like you said, Mark, I'm just going to do what God calls me to do. And people can think what they want to think, but for me to follow his leading and what he's put in my heart. So I feel of my inspiration is God and knowing that he has me here. Like you said, Mark, I think that's so wise that we are going to die. Every single one of us are. And to know that, of course, none of us have to fear that know Christ, but also to do his glorious plan, that we get to be a part of his glorious plan.
It's so good. Love it. Trevor, what are you looking forward to in 2026?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that I want to be a little more mindful about, I suppose, is pursuing some of those dreams that have been sort of on the back burner a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
always interesting when God sort of brings those things back to the forefront, you know?
Yep.
And I tend to be sometimes a little quiet about them, or a little bit like, well, these are too big. These dreams are a little too big, right? And so then you kind of like go, it seems reasonable not to do anything with it, you know? And so the idea of just getting that first sheep across to sort of let
Yeah.
something happen, right? Or to speak to other people, because again, a lot of times it comes down to resources, right? I mean, it comes down to budget of things that you want to do or whatever. And so to say like, I'm going to make a feature film or whatever is like, okay, where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
Where's your team? Where's your, you know? But you really can't, you can't get an avalanche started unless something starts, you know?
Yeah.
And so recognizing that God's ultimately in control. And if he wants something to happen, it's not a problem for him, right?
Right.
And that it's not, like Laura says, we always say this to one another, right? It's not about me, you know? And so just realizing, hey, I might have a part to play in this, but I'm going to just try and get something going that has been kind of on the back burner.
Yep.
And then see where God takes it. And if he chooses to close the doors, then I want to honor that, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to push against what God wants, right?
Right.
But if he wants some wind in those sails, then I think things will happen, right? So I feel like, digging into those things that keep kind of creeping back up. And I think, yeah, I probably should pursue that,
Yep. I love it. Well, I hope that y'all have been inspired. I've been inspired. So I hope you have, the audience has, and that it's just an encouragement of real life stories and pursuing Jesus. And so thank you all for being on the podcast. We could go on for about 5 hours.
Oh, easy.
So maybe we'll do a part 2 as projects come up, but this has been such a blessing. So thank you.
Thank you. This was so much fun.
Yes.
I can't wait to see where we are in a year from now when we check back in.
That's right. Thanks so much for everything you do, Angela, and
Yeah.
thank you for inviting us on this podcast. And we're very excited to see all the exciting things that are going to happen in your second season.
Yeah, season 2. Let's go.
Yeah, congratulations on your first year.
Thank
Yes.
you all. You all are so special. Appreciate it. All right.
Thanks so much.
Bless.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
God bless you guys.